Welcome and welcome back, people. So today we are going to make Ghana meat pie. So in front of you have the ingredients that you are going to need for both the filling and the dough for the meat pie. So we have here mixed vegetables, frozen. We have here butter. We have plain flour, ground nutmeg, garlic powder, black pepper, salt, olive oil, powdered pepper. We have here beef mince, which I got from Lidl. We have some potatoes, onions, eggs, and Knorr cubes. So this is all that you're going to need for your Ghana meat pie. You can change the filling if you want to, but today I'm going to show you the beef mince filling. Okay guys, so I wanted today's video to be slightly different, so I'm going to do the prep with you guys, or we are doing the prep together. So I'm going to start off by peeling my potatoes. And the potatoes is going to be cut into small chunks. So I'm going to get rid of all the skin, and then we are going to start chopping up the potato. So now that we have peeled the potatoes, we are now going to cut them into chunks, or what you can do is you can actually boil them for 5 to 10 minutes as it is, and then when it's slightly cooked you can then chop it up and add it to the rest of your filling for the meat pie. But to make the process quicker, I'm going to start chopping them up now, and then I'm going to boil it. You can chop up the potatoes to your preferable size. So the potatoes are ready to be boiled. We are going to leave it for 5 to 10 minutes, but you don't want to fully boil them, because once we add it to the rest of the filling for the meat pie, it will then go into the oven and it will be cooking more. So you don't need to fully cook it. So back to the onions, we are gonna peel off the skin, and we are gonna start chopping up the onions as well. So I'm gonna start chopping up my onions now, and then we are ready to start making the filling for the meat pie. The potatoes has been boiling for 11 minutes already. I decided to time myself so I can give you guys some more accurate timings. So it's been boiling for 11 minutes, nearly 12 minutes already, but I'm not quite satisfied with the way it is now. So I'm going to leave it to boil for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to drain the water. The potatoes has been boiling for a total of 15 minutes and 13 seconds. So I believe this is enough now. So I'm going to drain the water, and then we are going to start with the filling. All the prep is now done, and we can finally start making the filling. So I'm going to start off by adding in my onions as usual. I'm going to add my Knorr cubes. I forgot to mention earlier that I have 3 chicken Knorr cubes. 3 chicken Knorr cubes and 1 lamb Knorr cube. And I'm also going to add 1 Maggi because we want to make sure that the filling is tasty. Now that everything is mixed up, we are going to start adding our mince. I'm going to lower the heat just a tiny bit so that it doesn't start burning. So it was on 9 before and I've lowered it to 5. So I'm gonna add my garlic powder. I'm not going to measure any of these. You can add the seasoning according to your own taste. I'm going to add black pepper. And I'm going to add some powdered pepper. The mince has been cooking for a total of 5 minutes, as you can see. I hope you can see 5 minutes and 42 seconds. So I'm now going to add the mixed vegetables. So I left the mixed vegetables to cook for 5 minutes. They have not been fully cooked, but we are going to move on to the next step. So to have moisture in your meat pie, I mixed 2 tablespoons of flour with some water, and we are going to add it to our filling. Now, as you can see, I do have a lot of filling. This doesn't mean that I'm going to use all of it, because you can always put some in a sandwich bag and keep them in the freezer for the next time you want to make meat pie. And also, I have a lot of filling because I hate it when you go to these African parties and they give you meat pie and it basically only has pastry. So I love to fill my meat pies with a lot of filling. The filling is all done, so we are now going to move on to the next step, which is to make the dough for the meat pie. So before we start with the dough for the meat pie, I wanted us to come back to the filling because I completely forgot to add the potatoes. But as you can see, I've added the potatoes now, and this is how your filling should look like after adding the potatoes. So now let's move on to the dough for the meat pie. So this is all you are going to need for making the dough for your meat pie. Very simple and very basic. I have seen other recipes where egg is added and a lot more flavors, but we are going to keep it very simple. So I have here butter, plain flour, my ground nutmeg and my salt. So that's all we are going to use. So I'm going to be using a measuring cup so I can give you guys accurate measurements. So this is 1 cup. Now you can get these from the pound shop, guys. So go to the pound shop. So this is 1 cup. 2, 3, 105. I think 5 cups of flour should be enough. And I'm going to add half a tablespoon of nutmeg. Now the nutmeg doesn't actually add any flavor to the meat pie. It's more about the smell. I just love the smell that the nutmeg gives to the meat pie. So that's half a tablespoon. So I'm gonna mix all these together before we go in and add the butter. So now that it's all mixed up, we are going to add our butter. Now this is room temperature. I left it out for like half an hour. You don't want it too soft, but you don't want it really hard either, because we are trying to get a flaky pastry. So I'm actually going to use a whole top. You can use margarine as well instead of butter, but they all work fine. We are going to start mixing this by hand. If you feel like you've added too much butter, you can go back and add some more flour. You want to make sure the butter is fully mixed with the flour. So this is the consistency that we have now, and I'm going to add just a tiny bit more flour. So I added half a cup of flour, and I'm going to continue mixing until the dough can all form together. So I'm adding a bit of water to help with the mixing of the dough, just a little bit. This is a lot of exercise, guys. My arms are so tired. So the dough is all done. I had to separate them into 2 balls because it was too difficult for me to knead together. So I made it into 2 balls. So we are now going to start forming the dough for the pastry. We are now ready to start making or rolling out the dough for our meat pies, and this is what you are going to need: a rolling pin, a fork, a flour, and a piece of equipment to cut out the shape that you want. Now I've had a really difficult time finding a round cutter that is big enough. Now this is the latest one that I ordered online. Unfortunately, it's not big enough for me. So you can laugh at me, but I'm going to use the lid of a cooking pan, because I don't know how many inches this would be, but this gives me nice sized, but this gives me a reasonable sized meat pie. Or if you don't have that, which you should have anyway, you can use a bowl. This is like a cereal bowl that you can use, which gives you like medium-sized meat pie. So today I'll be using both. Today I'm going to use both. I'm going to use the bowl and I'm going to use the lid of my cooking pan. So let's get started, guys. Make sure that your worktop is clean, because we are going to make the meat pie on here. So I'm going to dust some flour on the surface so that the pastry doesn't stick. So here, this is the dough, and I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces. And I'm gonna start rolling out the dough. So I've rolled it out enough to cut out 1 pie. So I'm going to use the lid. I'm going to place it in the middle, push it down, and just move it about so it can cut into the dough. So there you have it. Just going to lift it and then leave it on the side. So this process we are going to repeat until all the dough is finished. So as you can see, I ended up using all 3 equipment to cut out the dough. So I have 3 different shapes. On your right, you have the largest, then you have the smallest in the middle, and the medium sized on your left hand side. So we can now go ahead and start filling up these sheets. I've dished some of the filling out into a bowl so it's easier for me to work with. So I'm going to start with the large pastry, or the large dough. And because it's a large size, you can add more filling. So this is 2 tablespoons. I'm going to add a little bit more. And what we are going to do is we are going to fold it over and then press down. Make sure that all the filling stays inside. So I'm now going to use a fork to press the sides down so they don't open once they go into the oven. Dip it into a bit of flour so it doesn't stick. So I'm going to use a knife to cut it nicely to make it look more presentable. And I'm going to use my fork to poke a hole on the top, or 3 holes, so we can have air going inside the pastry to cook the filling we have inside. So here we have it, guys. So I'm gonna speed up the video and do the rest. So the first batch is done, and before they go into the oven, I'm going to glaze the glaze the meat pies with egg. And this is just so that the meat pie gets like a golden effect or golden look. So now that we have covered all the meat pie with egg, it's now ready to go into the oven. So whilst this is cooking in the oven, I'm going to continue with the rest of the meat pies, and once it's all done, I'll come back and show you guys. Is all done, guys. Can you see how much moisture there is inside of the pastry? This is what you want to have when you are making meat pie. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.